It's a new dawn and a new day here at Nolan Ryan's former spring training home. We're set for our first of two California Winter League games of the day here at Palm Springs Stadium. It's the Alberta Grizzly at 2-2 taking on the 2-1 Palm Springs Power. Power look like a complete team nearly a week into the season, at times even world beaters. They're coming off an 8-2 win over the Blue Sox. They've allowed only 6 runs all season. They're led by a mighty batch of hitters with Burl Dixon, Isaiah Alvarez, Tavius Ford, among others. The cavalry seems to run deep. I'm Evan Schmeiser, ladies and gentlemen, joined by Joey Senna. I think we're going to be in for potentially a very interesting ball game, Joey. You have a Grizzly team. They're only hitting 185 collectively. They're struggling to get much offense going in general. And you have the Power. From the pitching standpoint, they look to be complete. They're hitting the you-know-what out of the ball. What do the Grizzly have to do to keep this one close?
I would say attack early and get on the board as soon as you can. You don't want to play from behind if you're the Grizzly in this game.
Tristan Cummings deals to Jose Martinez. That ball is dribbled out in front of the plate. Out in front is the catcher Christian Pagalitas, and he throws inside the first base for a quick first out. One pitch and one away for the Grizzly. Now I'll bring up the second man, the shortstop Anthony Pamilia. Tristan Cummings out on the mound for the Power. He deals a breaking ball a little low. 1-0 the count. Mentioned a moment ago, Tristan Cummings, part of a tremendous pitching staff that we've seen from the Power. Cummings himself, this will be his second outing of the year. He delivers a fastball a little low and inside, 2-0 the count. He made the start against the Canada A's back on the 28th. Went 4 innings, allowing a couple unearned runs, scattering just 2 hits, 1 walk, only a couple strikeouts. So probably expected the ball put into play. And that happens right there as that ball is laced through the middle past the diving Jalen Greer for a base hit. First hit of the day for the Grizzly. They have a 1-out base runner here in the top of the first.
Yeah, we're going to see a 4-pitch mix from Tristan Cummings. A 4-seam fastball, a 2-seam fastball, a curveball, and a splitter. He'll mostly be relying on the 2-seam and the splitter.
Potentially an excellent sign from a Grizzly lineup looking to try and get something going offensively. It's the third man in the order, Vincent Bird Jr. The rest of the order looks like this for the Grizzly. It's Jake Hall batting in the cleanup spot and playing right. Desmond Gates batting fifth, playing left field as Bird takes a pitch on the outside corner for strike 1. Tomakai Shire bats in the 7-hole, playing center field. Noah Areola, the designated hitter. Wataru Kumagai bats 8th and plays third base. And Jackson Murphy will be behind the plate to round out the order. We'll see the Grizzly starting pitcher, Ubaldo Romo, a little bit later. Cummings now says slide steps on the 2. That ball's back towards the middle. The shortstop grew up with a couple hops. To second for 1. Over the first. And in time to get Bird Jr. by a couple steps. 6-4-3 double play. And that retires the side in order here in the top of the first inning. Good effective inning from Tristan Cummings for the Power. We'll see the Power bats look to get to work when we return. We're almost ready for the bottom of the first inning, ladies and gentlemen. Tristan Cummings and the Power able to work a scoreless top frame against the Grizzly, aided by a 6-4-3 double play to retire the side. Ubaldo Romo will get the start for the Alberta Grizzly. He's pitched in 3 games this season. Overall, an ERA of 1.75. He's been impressive. Part of a pitching staff for the Grizzly with a 3.37 ERA on the young season. That's been the big reason why they've stayed in all their ball games. We'll take a look at the Power lineup. Jalen March will lead off in center field, followed by Jalen Greer, the shortstop. Roberto Verdecilla over at third base will bat third. Seamus Reese in the cleanup spot will play first base. David Escobar plays left field. He'll bat in the 5th spot. Drew Healy, the second baseman, bats 6th. Sean Rigsby will play right field, batting 7th. Aaron Harless, the designated hitter, will bat 8th. Christian Pagalitas behind the plate will round out the Power lineup.
Romo's going to be throwing a sinker, a slider, a changeup, and he'll sometimes release down to the 3/4. And when he does that, he'll mostly be throwing the sinker and the slider in the 3/4 release.
We'll see what Romo can do to try and keep this loaded Power lineup off balance. Jalen March fouls off a pitch to the left side, so 0-1 the count. Already seeing a few early swings from both teams. Here's the 0-1. Romo deals out of the windup. Good two-seam fastball running over the outer half. 0-2 the count.
This is what the defense looks like behind Romo. On the right side of the infield, Bird Jr. at first, Martinez at second. On the left side of the infield, we have Pamilia and Kumagai. And out in the outfield from left to right is Gates, Shirey, and Hall. And behind the plate is Murphy.
Romo deals a fastball way up and outside. 1-2 the count. Jalen March, the leadoff man, 1 for 4 with an RBI over his first 2 games played. The general pattern from Power manager Casey Deal has been once his position players are in the lineup, they generally play the whole game. We see with some of the other teams, we see many subs coming in, usually around the 5th inning, kind of platoon swaps. Here's the 1-2 from Romo. He deals out of the windup. Fastball, cut on and missed. Had March swinging right over the top of it. 1 quick out. And now I'll bring up Jalen Greer, playing shortstop for the Power. 2 for 8 with an RBI over his first 3 games. Greer bounced around the Oakland Athletics, playing in their high A-ball system through the 2022 season. Swings the first pitch, comes up empty on a fastball, 0-1.
That's where our clubhouse guy will be, Hayden.
Yes.
With the high AAs.
Big promotion for our guy Hayden. Very happy for him. As Greer digs back into the right-handed batter's box, close stance, takes a fastball on the outer half, 0-2. Good pitcher's pitch for Romo.
Romo getting ready and attacking the zone early, painting the corners, showing his command here in the first inning.
Romo with a good, consistent pace. He deals the 0-2. That breaking ball's hit back towards the middle, cut off by the shortstop Pamilia to his left, fires across the diamond in time to get him by plenty of steps. 2 up, 2 down for Ubaldo Romo and the Grizzly.
It's a nice, strong throw from Pamilia at short. We've seen a lot of missed throws from the left side of the infield early on in this CWL season.
We have. These are 2 pretty sound defensive teams. Only 7 errors committed between both the Power and the Grizzly, so expect to see some good defense. That fastball is in the dirt and outside to Roberto Verdecilla. Verdecilla hit .372 back in the 2020 season with the California Dogecoin, playing a season in Indy ball. He digs into the right-handed batter's box, staring down a 1-0 count from Romo with 2 outs, nobody on base, and a scoreless game in the bottom of the first. That ball's right off the handle. It gets past Romo, picked up by the second baseman Martinez, and he fires it in time to record the 3rd out. 1, 2, 3, go the Power. Really good-looking inning from Ubaldo Romo. We're set for the top of the 2nd in a scoreless ballgame here at Palm Springs Stadium. We're all set for the top of the second inning, ladies and gentlemen. The scoreless ball game between the Palm Springs Power and the Alberta Grizzly. Cummings will go back to work. Swinging at the first pitch is Jake Hall. He chops it foul back to the screen to the left side. A lot of early swings we're seeing. They're barely giving me enough time to lay everything out, Joey. The nerve.
The top of the first went by so quickly. Here's the Power defense. Playing first is Reese. Playing third is Berdicia. The middle infielders are Greer.
That ball's lined out to left field. It's going to drop in for a base hit in front of David Escobar. Stopping at first is Jake Hall. Second hit of the day for the Grizzly. And a leadoff base runner.
Greer's playing short. Healy's at second base. And the outfield left to right is Escobar, March, and Rigsby. And doing the catching for Cummings is Pegalitas.
I'll bring up the left-handed hitter, Desmond Gates. 23-year-old out of Los Angeles, California. 1 for 7 with a couple RBIs in the young California Winter League season. He shows bunt, and he misses 0-1. Berdicia, the third baseman, came charging in.
Gates does have some speed. I wonder if he was bunting there for a base hit, not just to move over the runner.
Part of it might also be with a Grizzly lineup. They've also only stolen 3 bases this season to go along with the coming into it 185 batting average. So not a bad idea to try to move a runner. That ball's chopped foul at home plate off the leg of Gates.
A swinging butt from Gates, just foul.
Cummings able to work ahead 0-2. Hall over at first base, singling to lead off the top of the second inning in this scoreless ball game. Power look to turn 2.
Both of these pitchers are attacking the strike zone early. They're showing great consistency in the strike zone.
Second baseman Healy pinched over a few steps to the second base bag, also a few steps in from the outfield grass. The shortstop Greer's the same way. Here's the 0-2. Ball swung and fouled again at home plate off the leg of Gates. So that one trickled out down the third base line.
Nice job from Cummings to get ahead in the count. He's way ahead. He can throw anything in his arsenal to Gates.
Gates will take a couple extra moments, try to gather himself after fouling 2 consecutive pitches off his leg. It's not fun.
That kills if you're a hitter, yeah,
Yep.
fouling a ball off yourself. You don't even get granted a base for that.
I've done that a couple of times in some Northeastern March games, and they hurt. Here's the 0-2. That ball's fouled straight back. Gates able to stay alive. Still facing an 0-2 count. Hall still looming at first base. A short, about 2.5 step lead. Power still look to turn 2. Here's the 0-2 pitch. Big swing and a miss at a breaking ball. Cummings did leave it up in the zone, probably a little bit more than he would have wanted to. He gets the swing through nonetheless.
Yeah, he did leave that over the plate a little bit, but changing speeds for Gates messed up his timing at home plate.
Now bring up the center fielder, Tomokai Shirei. He'll bat with 1 out. He'll settle into the right-handed batter's box. Power still looking to turn. The first pitch, the fastball missing a little outside 1-0.
It's the first time where Cummings is falling behind to start the count.
See if the Grizzly able to take advantage of that. Shirei's 1 for 6 on the young season with no extra base hits. Middle infielder out of Japan. Slide step from Cummings. That ball's off the hands. Scooped out to the third baseman, Berdicia. And he fires across the diamond in time. Good play, throwing on the run as he's charging in. 2 outs. Hall goes up to second.
That was a smart choice by Berdicia, throwing and getting the sure out at first base, not trying to get a double play. Picked up a big second out.
That'll bring up the 7th man in the order, Noah Areola. Areola 2 for 7. No extra base hits, no RBIs on the young season out of West Covina, California. So he takes a breaking ball from Cummings that loops back over the inner half, 0-1.
I was in West Covina last weekend, not too far from here, about an hour and a half.
Oh, I like the sound of
I have
that.
some family there. Very nice area in Southern California.
I do like the sound of that. Here's the 0-1 from Cummings. That ball's off the hands. It's fouled straight back to the right side and off the top of the bleachers. Cummings able to work ahead once again. It's now 0-2 to the righty Arriola.
Cummings ahead of the count again, 0-2. We'll see if he goes back to this breaking ball like how he struck out Gates earlier in the inning.
Grizzly looking to take a 1-0 lead in a scoreless game in the top of the second. The outfielder's playing pretty deep for the power as that fastball swung on and missed. Went after a high fastball to Arriola. He goes down on 3 pitches. Second strikeout of the inning for Tristan Cummings. He retires the side. Jake Hall able to get aboard via a leadoff single. Grizzly not able to do anything with that after the fact. To the bottom of the second we go. We'll see the power bats, see if they can get to work. We're just about set for the bottom of the second inning in a scoreless ball game between the Power and the Grizzly. I'm Evan Schmeiser, joined by Joey Senna. Seamus Reese, David Escobar, Drew Healy, the scheduled hitters, 4, 5, 6 in the order for the Power. As Ubaldo Romo will settle in for his second inning of work.
Early on in this game, I'm sensing a pitching duel in this matchup.
Well, it's had a good pace so far. Even with the 2 hits from the Grizzly, from Romo and Cummings alike.
Both pitchers are commanding the strike zone and getting ahead of the hitters. That's a recipe for a good day on the mound.
Seamus Reese looking to get his bat going. He's 0 for 6 in his first 2 games, getting the start today. He takes a fastball, a little low and outside, 1-0. Ubaldo Romo working out of the windup. Very calm and still sunny day here in the Southern California desert. Big swing and a miss on a fastball in the inner half, 1-1. Even 64 degrees at the moment. Slight breeze coming out of the northwest. The Flags look calm in center field after a very windy first game yesterday. Another swing and a miss, 1-2 on a fastball down and in.
Yeah, warming up a little bit later on in this week. Up to like 76, I want to say, on Saturday. I'm looking forward to Saturday.
According to some of the locals I've talked to, this has been the coldest winter they've had in a long time. As that 1-2 is just outside. Romo and Murphy wanted the call. The count moves to 2-2.
Great location there on a 1-ball, 2-strike count. Trying to get that call and expand the strike zone for Roman Freckling.
Romo set in the windup again. This time you get to swing and a miss. Fastball towards the lower half. Caught a little bit of the middle of the plate. He gets the swing through. His second strikeout of the game, now 1 out in the bottom of the second inning. And I'll bring up David Escobar. He'll settle into the right-handed batter's box out of Hampton, Virginia.
So far for Romo, 4 up and 4 down, making quick work.
First pitch is on the inside corner for a called strike one. 0-1 the count, 1 out, nobody on base for the Power in a scoreless ball game. Infield playing straight up for the Grizzly. Kicks and deals, breaking ball. Wow, big bender gets a swing and a miss. It darts down and away from the righty.
All the pitches are working early for Romo. And all quadrants of the strike zone as well.
He got the ball right back from Murphy. He's already set on the mound. He deals the 0-2. Another breaking ball. Gets him out in front. David Escobar strikes out on 3 pitches. Back-to-back strikeouts, 2 up, 2 down here in the bottom of the second inning.
Really, Evan, 5 up, 5 down for Romo.
He's got it all going on at the moment.
Absolutely.
Especially against one of the better lineups we've seen in the CWL.
The Power coming in at 2-1. The Grizzly coming in at 2-2.
Romo deals the first pitch. That ball's out to the shortstop, Pamelia. Over to his right. He gets in front of it, fires, good arm across the diamond. And that retires Drew Healy, the second baseman, on 1 pitch. 6 up, 6 down, go the Power. Through 2 full innings in a scoreless ballgame, Ubaldo Romo, he's wheeling and dealing. We'll be back for the third in just a moment.
Welcome back, 0-0 as we head to the top of the third inning. 8-9-1 due up for the Alberta Grizzly, who's coming in at 2-2 early on in this CWL season. Kumagai, Murphy, Abraham Martinez due up in this pitching duel early on. Only 2 hits allowed in the entire game. Those 2 hits came from Pomelia and Jake Hall in the first and second from the Grizzly. Cummings gets ready, delivers strike. 1-1 is the count to Kumagai. Kumagai still looking for his first hit in the CWL and finds the gap between the 5 and the 6.
And it's a real nice piece of hitting we just saw from Kumagai. Good sign from him able to get his first hit of the CWL season. He didn't hit it all that hard, but he went with the pitch, didn't try to pull that fastball away, and he was able to find a hole on the left side.
You're not going to give me any credit for that, Evan? I just spoke that into existence.
Yeah, now that you mention it, absolutely.
Brings up the number 9 hitter, the catcher, Jackson Murphy. Takes ball 1, low and away. That was 92 miles per hour off the bat for the first hit of the season for Kumagai, who takes the lead at first base. Only a couple steps away. Not a huge lead. Cummings looks over, delivers strike 1. like Evan mentioned earlier, we haven't seen a lot of stolen bases from the Grizzly, only 3 on the season, successful stolen bases.
Part of the problem with that is you just have a bunch of guys they're not getting on base very much, so it's tough to really see what they have to offer as far as their base running ability is concerned.
Outside corner for Cummings. Ball 2. 2 balls and 1 strike to the catcher Murphy.
Jackson Murphy was excellent behind the plate yesterday. I mean, blocking all sorts of balls in the dirt. Really keep that game close against the Rush, ultimately losing 4-0.
He can also do it with the bat, too, like he does here. He shoots a ball into right center field, rounding second base. Kumagai, and heading to second. The throw not in time. Kumagai heads home, and the throw in time. And we'll get Kumagai at the plate. A fantastic relay from the power defense. That started with Rigsby out in right field to Healy, the second baseman, who delivered an absolute strike in time to Pigalitas at the plate. So 1 away now. That'll go down as a double for Jackson Murphy. And the lineup flips over. Jose Abraham Martinez takes strike 1. The Grizzly now have 4 hits, but no runs to show for. 0-0, 1 away, and 1 on. In scoring position for Abraham Martinez. Fouls one to the right side of the field by the batting cages. We couldn't have asked for a better day here in the first day of February. No wind. The sun is shining and no clouds in sight. The 0-2 below the zone for ball 1.
Enjoy. If I could just go back to that relay for a moment. At first, I really thought that Kumagai was going to be able to score on that play, but just a tremendous relay coming in from Hall to Martinez to Murphy at the plate. Really, and a great job from Murphy applying the tag on the head first slide.
1-2. Abraham Martinez battles that off, fouls it into the power dugout.
It also was a very aggressive wave around from Jared Lemieux in the third base coach's box. With nobody out, though, in the top of the order coming up, generally you'd see a manager being a little more conservative in a situation like that.
Cummings looks back at the runner. An off-speed pitch will get Abraham Martinez to strike out. Out number 2. Trying to keep this game scoreless here in the top of the third.
Well, now if you're Anthony Pameli, who will dig in for his second at-bat, you really need to come up with a big 2-out RBI knock. I mean, the Power have all the momentum at the moment with that huge relay and out at the plate, taking away a potential big inning for the Grizzly. You need to cash in.
Pomelia singled his last time up. Kind of defensive swing there for strike 1.
And generally on the first pitch of the bat, you almost want to treat it like a 2-0 count, kind of zoning in on a certain location and really letting it rip when it gets there. You don't want to see kind of a defensive swing like that.
That ball's hit to the left side. Berdicia, the third baseman, delivers a strike on the run to Reese. And that will retire the side to keep the game tied at 0-0 by the nice relay to home to get Kumagai at the plates. We head to the home half of the third inning, tied 0-0. We'll be right back. 7, 8, 9 hitters due up here in the home half of the third inning for the Power. Romo on the mound for the Grizzly has faced the minimum so far. So he faces Rigsby, Harless, and Pigalitas. Romo's been at around 85 to 87 miles an hour. He topped out at 89 early on in this game.
This will be an important inning for Romo in this scoreless ball game. Right now, the Power have almost all the momentum that you could ask for with that play at the plate, robbing the Grizzly of not only a run but a potential big inning.
Just inside to Sean Rigsby, who steps in from the left side. Romo all the way right on the rubber, delivers outside, strike one to even the count. Rigsby is only playing in his second game of the season. He's 1 for 3. Rigsby fouls this out of play right at the concession stand on the third base side. 1-2 is now the count.
See a couple guys out stretching and doing some walking drills in the Grizzly bullpen down the right field line.
Looks like that ball slipped from Romo. That was outside and away. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Here in the bottom of the third inning, tied 0-0. The Power still looking for their first base runner of the game. Romo works from the stretch. Fouled back once again by Rigsby. Nice shot battling Romo at the plate. Romo gets set, the 2-2. Low and away to Rigsby, who's battled back. Now a full count.
Pretty good at bat we're seeing from Rigsby. Fouling off some pitches. He's worked it back full after falling behind. He's set for the 7th pitch.
Put in play, and that's a comebacker. Romo flashes his leather, underhands it to Bird Jr. at first base for out number 1.
That's exactly what you had to do if you're Romo on the mound. You don't want to walk the leadoff man, especially you're towards the bottom of the order, trying to take a little bit of momentum away from the Power that they got the previous inning. He threw him a challenge fastball, and he got the out right back to him.
Brings up Aaron Harless, the number 8 hitter. Still looking for his first hit in the CWL. Fouls this straight up. Murphy will get under it, and in foul territory, records an out. 8 up, 8 down for Romo to start this game. Couldn't be any better than that, Evan.
I mean, and he's been getting ahead of all these batters. The only deep count he's really had came to Rigsby to open up the frame. And it's a good job, especially right now. Don't waste too much time on the bottom of the order. He's going right after them.
Brings up the catcher for the Power, Christian Pagalitas. Steps in from the right side. Righty-on-righty matchup. Romo all the way towards the first base side of the rubber. First pitch swinging, fouled back by Pigalitas. Getting ahead of the count again is Romo.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's good to, as a result of that, both offenses are picking up that these pitchers are attacking the strike zone. So we're seeing more and more early swings.
The 0-1 working from the stretch. 0-2.
It's good to see Romo mixing in that breaking ball, kind of breaking it back and over the inside half to the right-handed batter. He's been going almost exclusively fastball, and it's been effective for him so far.
Time is called at home plate by Pigalitas. Romo the 0-2, outside corner, ball 1. Murphy got up, was acting like that was strike 3. Close call there for Romo.
Well, let's see. Romo was walking off the mound. Jackson Murphy had already started a couple steps to his right, ready to start firing it around the horn. I think the entire infield was coming in too.
So we'll do it again, the 1-2. Put into play. A little blooper into right field. Finds a gap for the first hit of the day for the Palm Springs Power. Here in the bottom of the third with 2 away.
And that's a tough break if you're Romo and the Grizzly. You think you have Pagalita struck out just a pitch earlier. It was close. It could have gone either way. And then you get the Texas League of Texas Leaguers, a blooper right behind the second baseman Martinez. I mean, that's a tough one. That's one of those balls I'd love to see the exit velocity as far as how slowly it came off the bat.
The order flips around. The center fielder at the plate, Jalen March, takes inside, strike 1. Pagalita's the catcher at first base. Probably won't see a stolen base from him. The 0-1. Romo works from the stretch. That's outside for ball 1.
I like to see Romo slow down his delivery a little bit. I think he kind of rushed that pitch. He kind of came a little off balance in his delivery. I think that's why he sailed it a bit up and away.
Romo looks in, agrees on the pitch, gets set, delivers home. Another blooper will find the outfield grass into left field for Jalen March. Runners on first and second. Looks like the Power trying to get a 2-out rally going here in the home half of the third.
And another tough break for Romo and the Grizzly. I mean, that was another pretty good pitch. Looked like it was a fastball, but it was also kind of cutting in to the lefty March. He got it towards the hands, and he just kind of fisted it over the shortstop Pamilia's head.
So after 2 bloop singles, the shortstop Jalen Greer steps in from the right side, awaiting the pitch from Romo, who gets set from the stretch, looks at the runner at second, delivers home, low and outside for ball 1.
We have to give the power hitters a little bit of credit, too. Not only putting the ball in play, but keeping their swing in the strike zone long enough to be able to serve those balls into the outfield.
First time the Power has a runner in scoring position. That's tapped foul by Greer at the plate.
In general, we've seen our fair share of strikeouts across the entire league. You get a team like the Power who have done a pretty good job of just putting the ball in play. And we've had a few games where there have been errors and throwing the ball away all over the place, and you can make a lot of things happen, whether in college ball or indie ball.
We've seen good defense here early on in game 1. That ball slices through the strike zone, but ends up low and inside for ball 2. So Romo now behind in the count with runners on first and second. 2 away. The number 9 hitter, Pigalita, has got things started for the Power, who's now at second base. Throw home is low and outside from Romo. 3 balls and 1 strike. Trying to escape this home half of the third inning after facing 8 batters and retiring all 8 of them.
And sometimes that can happen. You're sailing along and you get a couple of base runners, things get a little tougher on the mound.
Romo delivers ball 4, low and in the dirt. A nice stop from Murphy behind the plate. So the bases are now loaded for the number 3 hitter, Roberto Berdicia, the third baseman. Last time he was up, he hit a ground ball to second base. We'll have a quick mound visit before Romo throws his next pitch.
Yeah, if anything, I would have liked to see this mound visit maybe come 1 batter earlier just to try and settle Romo down after allowing those 2 consecutive Texas League singles on balls that weren't hit particularly hard. But it's definitely needed at the moment. Might have just been a little bit rattled, ending up losing Greer and walking him on 5 pitches. And it's a danger zone. You're in the middle of this Power lineup, a team that seems to just keep coming after you. in all sorts of ways. And with a team like the Grizzly, who, again, struggling to get the bats going, they've looked better with putting up 4 hits through 3 innings of play. But going down 2, even 3 runs, that it would look pretty daunting if you're a Grizzly faithful.
So 8 up, 8 down for Romo. The next 3 batters reach, and that's where we're at right now. Bases loaded for Berdicia, who steps in and awaits. Swinging at the first pitch, a ground ball to the shortstop. Pomelia throws across a strike to Bird Jr., and that will end the inning. No damage done against Romo. And we head to the top of the 4th inning, tied 0-0. Heart of the lineup due up for the Grizzly to start this 4th inning. 0's on the board so far. We're all tied up 0-0 in the top of the 4th. We have the power hitting 25-year-old Vincent Bird Jr., who steps in. Bird, Hall, and Gates due up. 3, 4, 5 hitters. Just outside to Vincent. Vincent Bird Jr. is from Sacramento, California. He spent some time in the Tampa Bay Rays minor league system. The 1-0 outside once again to Bird. We've seen Bird Jr. show his display of his power hitting. He's hit the ball all over the yard early on in this season. And he blasts one into the left center field gap, rounding first base. He took a big turn, but he'll have a long single. And now it's an overthrow, and he heads to second base. So a single and an error that allows Bird Jr. to get into scoring position for the cleanup man, Jake Hall.
Oh, it's a really nice piece of hitting we just saw from Vincent Bird Jr. Looked like that down and away pitch might be his kind of his nitro zone. Absolutely launched that ball in the left center field, and yeah, just some sloppy play on an overthrow like that. That really shouldn't happen.
A big swing and a miss from Jake Hall. That's the Grizzlies' 5th hit on the day, but no runs to show for. 0-0 ball game here in the top of the 4th. Bird Jr. on second base. Hall awaits the 0-1. Fouled straight back into the netting. So we saw Romo escape the jam last time up. Now Cummings is going to have to do the same thing with the runner in scoring position and nobody out. The 0-2 just upstairs, ball one.
Just going back to that Bird base hit. It came off his bat at 97 miles per hour. Yeah, he did hit that ball hard. First at bat, he hit the ball 101 miles per hour.
Yeah, power hitter for sure is the number 3 hitter for the Grizzly. Breaking ball fouled back into the netting once again from Hall. We'll do it again, 1-2.
Yeah, it goes without saying, Bird is a big, strong man.
Last time up, Hall singled in the second inning. The 1-2 inside. And it looks like it hit Hall on the jersey. So now runners on first and second to start this 4th inning for the Grizzly.
And it looked like the home plate umpire, Roman Frecky, made the call right away. You can see Hall, as soon as the pitch went by, was looking back and was like, hey, a ball hit me. Do you think it hit me? And he did get rewarded with that. Tough break for Cummings on the mound. It was a pretty well-located fastball in the inner half.
Brings up the left fielder, Desmond Gates, who struck out his only at-bat in the second inning. That's what Cummings is looking for right now, is a strikeout. Bunt attempt goes foul for Gates. We saw Gates attempt to bunt his last time up, too, with a runner on first base, but unable to get one down cleanly.
And it's hard to tell whether Gates did that on his own or he got a sign from Lemieux in the third base coach's box. The situation would call for it. A tie ball game, first and second, nobody out. Now we're going to see the Power playing more of a bunting defensive shift.
Vincent Bird Jr., who's at second base, doesn't have the best speed in the world for that sacrifice bunt. That breaking ball bends in for strike 2 for Cummings, who's looking for a punch out here with runners on first and second and nobody out, trying to keep this a scoreless game in the top of the 4th.
We also did not see Gates square on that previous pitch. Curveball, though, he got a pretty good pitch to try to bunt.
Cummings looks in at the sign, agrees, works from the stretch. He's also on the first base side of the rubber. Broken bat, blooper to shortstop, Will Simon, who took over for Greer. Unproductive out for the Grizzly. That'll be ruled as an infield fly.
And if you're Cummings and the Power, you'll take that any day of the week over laying down a potential sacrifice bunt.
Brings up Tomokai Shirei, the center fielder. He'll have an opportunity with runners on first and second. We'll have a pinch runner for the Grizzly. Will Manjurian takes over for Bird Jr. at second base. Cummings delivers, and that's fouled back by Shirei. 0-1. So Manjurian on second, Hall at first. Hall was hit by a pitch that grazed his jersey. The 0-1 is fouled towards the Power dugout. 0-2, Cummings looking for a punch out here.
And if you're the Grizzly, you're looking for anything you can get. It's a wise move from Lemieux to add a little bit of extra speed at second base, especially from what we've seen. Bird can still re-enter the ball game later on.
Shirei, the 0-2, fouls this towards the right side of the field. Heads up to everyone near the batting cage out there. Last time up, Shirei hit a ground ball to third base. Looking for his first hit today. If he's able to get on, most likely would produce an RBI. 5 hits and no runs for the Grizzly here in the top of the 4th. 2 hits and no runs for the Power.
They've had base runners every inning, too, just not able to cash in.
Shirei, the 0-2, puts this ball into play, into right field. Rigsby, the right fielder, just in fair territory, is able to make the catch. Manjurian heads to third base.
And almost any other at-bat, a ball like that would be absolute trouble for the Power. It was hit right down the line going in the right field. Rigsby, I don't know who positioned him over there, but he had him played pretty perfectly.
Manjurian at third base. Jake Hall did not tag. He's still on first base. Manjurian, the runner, who's now on third, might have twisted his ankle a little bit. He's taken a minute, walked it off a little bit.
Yeah, I can see him kind of wincing, trying to roll his ankle as he takes his walking lead off of third.
With 2 on and 2 away, first pitch swinging is Areola. Fouled into the netting, 0-1. Grizzly trying to break through this scoreless tie, 0-0 here in the 4th inning. Base hit here will do it. Cummings looks at the runner, delivers home. Breaking ball goes through the zone but ends low and away. Ball 1. Big at-bat early in the game here. I guess we head into the middle innings. Cummings gets set from the stretch. Ball is hit into right center field, and it will find a gap. March, the center fielder, plays it on a hop. RBI single for Noah Areola to get the Grizzly on the board here in the 4th inning. They lead 1-0 on their 6th hit of the game.
And how big is that for the Grizzly right there? Finally, they get a ball hit softly, finally getting a break. So that ball just able to settle in the right center field, a couple hops in front of the center fielder, March. And excellent base running that we see from Hall, able to go first to third on that play. So still a good opportunity to add a second run if you're the Grizzly.
Brings up Wachuro Kumagai, who singled his last time up in the 3rd inning. Whole bat in consecutive innings with runners on the corner still and 2 away. Inside and in the dirt from Cummings. A nice stop there from Pigalitas, the catcher.
Yeah, that was an athletic-looking backhand we saw from Pagalitas behind the plate.
If that ball gets past Pagalitas, that's a run scored for the Grizzly. One run across here for the Grizzly in the top of the 4th. They lead 1-0. Cummings looking to limit the damage. Breaking ball put into play. Finds a hole, a diving Healy to his left side to flex it into shallow right field. That'll be a RBI for Kumagai. The Grizzly lead 2-0. Jake Hall comes across to score. Noah Areola ends up at third base. Nice base running for the Grizzly here in the 4th.
And a really good momentum shift if you're the Grizzly. 2 batters in a row. You get balls not hit particularly hard whatsoever. Pretty good pitches we saw from Cummings on the mound. I thought for just a moment the second baseman Healy had that ball on the dive, and of course we saw that it trickled behind him just a little bit.
So still 2 away. The runner takes off. No throw. Probably a smart no throw from Pagalitas. If you're the Power, you're looking to escape this inning with just allowing those 2 runs. Ducks on the pond for the catcher, Jackson Murphy, who doubled his last time up. He hit a shot into the right center gap last inning in the 3rd. The 1-0 is a chopper to third base. Nice play from Berdicia to field it, but he doesn't have a play anywhere. So an RBI picked up from the 9-hitter.
Joey, I'd have to go back and watch a lot of tape to find the last time I saw a game where 3 consecutive RBI singles were hit by one team. Balls with exit velocity just not hit hard at all. And a break right there for the Grizzly. Jackson Murphy, for whatever reason, he did not take off running the first right away. It took him a while to get out of the box, but Berdisi just didn't see the third baseman for the power. He turned around and tried to maybe get an out at third.
Still runners on the corners for the Grizzly, who have scored 3 runs here in the top of the 4th and lead 3-0. They've also recorded 8 hits, doing the majority of it with 2 outs. Strike 1 on the outside corner, delivered by Cummings. Kumagai, who singled, is on third. Murphy, who just got that huge RBI, is on first base. Strike 2 to the leadoff man, Abraham Martinez.
Looks like Rio Kogure is actually digging in as a pinch hitter for Martinez.
Thanks for catching that, Evan. The 0-2 from Cummings. Fouled off.
Yeah, Jared Lemieux is going to his bench much earlier than we're used to seeing him. Finally getting a big inning here in the 4th can be helpful. Getting the starters their necessary at-bats and perhaps allowing him that chance to get the bench guys their at-bats.
Kogure, the 0-2. Watches strike 3 go by on the outside corner from Cummings, but the Grizzly take a 3-0 lead here in the top of the 4th. We'll be right back for the home half of the 4th inning as the Power look to respond. We're in the bottom of the 4th inning. 3-0 Grizzly lead. New pitcher for the Grizzly is Wyatt Beto. Beto's making his 3rd appearance here in the CWL. So he faces Seamus Reese, the cleanup man for Palm Springs. Beto's pitched 5 innings so far, giving up 3 hits, 2 earned runs. He's walked 2 batters and has 7 strikeouts in those 5 innings. He recorded a win in one of his appearances as well. He's coming in at 1-0 with a 2.80 ERA. He's looking for a shutdown inning after the Grizzlies scored 3 runs in the top of the frame. Last time Reese was up, he struck out swinging in the 2nd inning. The 2-2 catches the outside corner. Strike 3. Beto wastes no time striking out his first batter he's faced.
Ladies and gentlemen, let me give you just a moment to give you the near hockey-like line change we just saw from the Grizzly in the field. Andre White is the new left fielder who's in for Desmond Gates. Ethan Baker is now playing right field. Wilman Jurian, who came on to pinch run for Vincent Bird Jr. previous frame, is now playing first. San Frantino is also the new shortstop.
David Escobar, the batter right now, will hit with nobody on and 1 away here in the bottom of the 4th, trailing 3-0. Big swing and a miss. Escobar struck out his last time up as well. Back in the 2nd inning. The Power just with 2 hits. Escobar comes away empty. The count's even.
Looks like Wyatt Beto getting ahead already, the second batter of the inning, getting the first out. Well on his way to try and record that shutdown inning that the Grizzly desperately need.
Beto looks in, kicks and deals. Up and inside to Escobar. Couldn't have asked for a better day here to start February. The full count upstairs, and Escobar is down swinging for the 2nd out of the inning.
Picture perfect start, 2 up, 2 down for Wyatt Beto coming out of the bullpen, trying to help secure the win for Ubaldo Romo, who got the start for the Grizzly. And if you're the Power, it's a pretty daunting task to try and overcome this 3-run deficit to a Grizzly pitching staff that hasn't allowed much of anything in this early going of the season.
Healy takes ball 1 outside. Last time Healy was up, he hit a ground ball to the shortstop. That was back in the 2nd inning, looking for his first hit today. He bats from the left side, awaits the 1-0. That's outside once again, ball 2. So Beto getting behind in the count to the 3rd batter he's faced, and Drew Healy. (2-0) up and in. Healy way ahead of the count, 3-0.
Normally, I'd say green light on a 3-0 pitch, especially here in the California Winter League. But the amount of aggressive swings and early outs we've seen from the Power, I'd like to see him take a strike.
He'll take ball 4 outside. So a 2-out walk to Drew Healy. Power looking to get something started after giving up 3 runs in the top of this frame. But the Grizzlies' bats have just been alive. They have 8 hits to go along with their 3 runs, to where the Power has only 2 hits and unable to score a run so far.
Talk about breaking out of a team-wide slump. It's something I really struggle with. You see it at every level of baseball now. We just saw a 3-0 breaking ball. I don't see the need of that.
Beto looks at the runner, works from the stretch, delivers strike one. After a 4-pitch walk to Healy, he finds the strike zone once again.
Like, you set down the first 2 men in order via strikeout, and you fall behind 3-0, it happens, and you're towards the bottom of the lineup. Why not just paint a fastball? The worst he does is get an extra base hit.
Sean Rigsby bats from the left side, takes ball one outside. Looks like Beto wanted that pitch on the outside corner. Last time Rigsby was up, he hit a comebacker to the then pitcher Romo, who made a nice play. Beto throws over, checking on Healy at first base, who gets his jersey dirty, able to get back to the bag in time. A lot of the damage in the top of this inning from the Grizzly came with 2 outs. The Power looking to get a 2-out rally started here in the home half of the 4th inning, trailing 3-0. A little blooper to the shortstop Frontino, who waits for it to bounce and delivers an absolute strike in time to get Rigsby down the first base line. So a shutdown inning from Beto out of the pen as the Grizzly head to the top of the 5th, leading 3-0. Go ahead and take play-by.
We're back, ladies and gentlemen, here in the top of the 5th inning. Grizzly looking to get back to work with the bats after putting up 3 runs in the 4th. Big offensive outburst. He's taking a strike on the inner half is Will Manjurian, who came on to pinch run for Vincent Bird back in the 4th during that 3-run outburst. Sam Frontino led off the inning with an infield single to the shortstop Will Simon. Tried to make a difficult play on the ball up the middle, ended up throwing it away, gave him an infield hit. 0-2 the count, fastball in the outside corner. Tristan Cummings back to work here in the top of the 5th, trying to keep this suddenly hot Grizzly lineup at bay. Slide steps, that ball's hit in the air down the left field line. It'll slice out of play, foul beyond the bleachers.
The next hit for the Grizzly will be double digits. They have 9 hits and 3 runs to go along with it. And the pitching has backed them up pretty well here in the first game of the doubleheader here at the stadium.
Frontino, who runs well, he has a good lead at first, about 4 steps off. That slide step's an off-speed pitch, a little high and outside, 2-2. Beg your pardon, 1-2 the count back home, ladies and gentlemen. Outfield playing relatively straight up for the Power. The right fielder, Rigsby, playing pretty deep. Same with the left fielder, Escobar, even with the lefty Manjurian at the plate. The 1-2, slide step, fastball down and away. Now the count moves to 2-2.
Cummings is looking to bounce back here in the 5th inning after allowing 3 runs in the 4th. Looking to keep this a 3-run game.
Will Manjurian is 1 for 8 overall this season with a triple. He went 0 for 3 yesterday in the 4-0 loss to the Rush. Cummings set with a 2-2 out of the stretch. Big leg kick. There goes the runner. Pitch taken low. Throw on the second. Nowhere near in time. Nobody was coming for this. The ball goes into center field. Going to third is Frontino. The throw is not in time, and it gets past the third baseman, Verdicia. Well, how about that play? Stolen base for Sam Frontino. He got a really good jump. Took advantage of Cummings going with the higher leg kick instead of a slide step that time. Nobody was covering second at first. Simon, the shortstop, got over very, very late, so the ball just trickled into center field. March came up firing to third. The ball came in on a couple hops, and it went past Verdicia. So that puts Frontino over at third base with nobody out. Grizzly looking to put up an insurance run, trying to get a 4-0 lead.
Pagalita's delivered a great ball to second base, just no one there to receive it.
That ball's hit high in the air on the infield side to the left. Simon, the shortstop, makes the call and the catch for a big first out.
Exactly what Cummings was looking for, an unproductive out with a runner on third base.
And that'll bring up Ethan Baker. Came on as a defensive replacement for Jake Hall back in the 4th. We see with the Grizzly leading 3-0 as that fastball's at the knees for strike 1, 0-1 the count. Grizzly lead the Power 3-0, putting up all 3 of their runs in the 4th. Courtesy of 4 hits in the frame for the Grizzly, also taking advantage of a hit batter. Up and away, 1-1. One the count to Baker. Frontino over at third base. That pitch is on the outside corner, 1-2. The Power playing the infield about halfway depth. They're set with the 1-2, outside 2-2.
Cummings searching for a strikeout right here. Cummings looking to keep this a 3-run ball game here in the 5th inning.
Here's the 2-2. Going out of the stretch. Big swing and a miss. Tied him up with a fastball. Baker goes down swinging, and 2 big outs for Cummings and the Power after allowing Frontino to make it to third base with nobody out.
Great response by Cummings.
That'll
here
bring
in the
up
5th inning.
That brings up Andre White. Came in to play left field for Desmond Gates as a defensive replacement back in the 4th. Takes a breaking ball way outside 1-1 from Cummings. White 1 for 6 this season with no extra base hits to his credit, looking for his first RBI. It'd be a helpful one, trying to give the Grizzly a 4-0 lead as we sit in the top of the 5th. Now fastball on the outside corner, 1-1, according to Roman Frecking behind the plate.
Yeah, if you're Cummings, you want to work around the corners right now with an open base at first. You just don't want to let that runner on third base come across to score.
Cummings said once again, here's the 1-1 with 2 outs and the man on third. That ball's trickled up the first base line. It's going to go foul.
Obviously, you don't want to give up a walk if you're Cummings, but that's not the worst thing in this case scenario. So keep attacking those corners and don't leave anything over the plate.
Power infield playing White to pull. The lefty White. Healy shaded a few steps close to the first base bag. Simon towards the middle of the diamond from shortstop. That fastball's up and away 2-2.
Great location there from Cummings, trying to get a swing.
The center fielder March also playing very deep for the Power. On this very still day, sunny day in Palm Springs. That ball is off the end of that foul to the left side out of play.
That breaking ball is a little bit of a hanger from Cummings. Lucky that ball was fouled off.
Yeah, that's one White may want back. Looked like he might have been a little late on that breaking ball, too.
Kind of a defensive swing, it looked like.
We'll do it again with the count 2 balls, 2 strikes to Andre White. Frontino over at third. That breaking ball just misses outside. Cummings already started to walk off the mound along with a couple other Power infielders.
We've seen that a couple times from both teams in this game.
Yes, we have. The count moves to 3-2. Grizzly leading 3-0 in the top of the 5th. Looking for some insurance. Here's the payoff. That ball's hit hard in the center field. Over his march to his right into the alleyway, and he makes the catch a few steps shy of the track in left center field. Frontino able to get aboard with a leadoff single for the Grizzly and make his way all the way around to third base. Grizzly not able to do anything else in the frame. As Cummings sets down the next 3 men in order. We go to the bottom of the 5th. Power looking to trim into that 3-0 lead. Welcome back, CWL fans. I'm Evan Schmeiser, joined by Joey Senna. Just about set for the bottom of the 5th inning. 8-9-1 due up for the Power. Aaron Harless will bat for himself. Christian Pagalitas, he's standing in the on-deck circle. He'll follow, and we'll go back to the top of the order. Taking low and outside is Harless, 1-0 the count. Popped up in foul territory to the catcher Murphy, his only at bat. As his Power trail 3-0. Is that 1-0? Taken on the outside corner, 1-1. Wyatt Beto getting back to work. Second inning of work out of the bullpen for Ubaldo Romo. He deals the 1-1 out of the stretch. That ball's chopped foul over the Power dugout. 1-2 the count. No action in the Power bullpen at the moment. There's a little bit of stirring going on with the Grizzly. A couple of guys walking down there. We're doing a little bit of stretching and talking at the moment. No throwing. This time is called at home plate. Grizzly defense playing as straight up as you could ask for. In general, all the outfielders for both teams have played on the deeper side. So that fastball is on the outside corner for a called strike 3. Third strikeout for Beto coming out of the bullpen. There's 1 out in the 5th. That'll bring up Christian Pagalides. He singled and was stranded at third base back in the 3rd inning. Part of a 2-out bases-loaded rally for the Power, unable to cash in as they trail 3-0 in the bottom of the 5th. Power trying to move to 3-1 on the young season. Grizzly trying to jump up to 3-2. First pitch from Beto. Swing at the first pitch is Pagalides. He pops it up. Foul territory to the first base side. Manjurian is over to get it. Pretty easy put out. Ball not hit very high in the air. 2 up, 2 down for the Power, and we go back to the top of the order.
The Power looking to get their bats going here in the bottom of the 5th inning, still only with 2 hits. It's hard to get runs when you only have 2 hits.
Jalen March will bat for himself. Struck out in the first, singled back in the 3rd as he fouls the first pitch straight back. Power looking to get something going against this Grizzly pitching staff. Only 2 hits on the day. The Grizzly, who were mentioned this several times, struggling offensively coming in as that fastball's down and away 1-1. Already 9 hits through 5 innings. They put up to 3 runs. They've had a couple chances to put more runs on the board, but already a daunting-looking task for the Power to cut into this. 1-1. Working out the stretches, Beto's a little high 2-1.
Beto wanted that call, but just upstairs.
It's been a tighter strike zone for this early game than we've seen
It really
some
has
of our
been.
other outings.
Yeah.
The 2-1. Breaking ball. That one's at the knees, 2-2. Good tight bender from Wyatt Beto. Now I'll settle back onto the mound. 2-2, 2 outs. Nobody on base for the Power in the bottom of the 5th. Grizzly lead 3-0. Beto kicks and deals. Fastball, that's outside. We'll move to a full count.
Beto looking for another 1-2-3 inning out of the pen. Been very efficient since coming into the game.
Only the 1 walk allowed to Healy back in the 4th. Other than that, Beto's been perfect coming out of the bullpen. Here's the 3-2 pitch. And he loses them. That's outside ball 4. Second walk issued by Beto, and it gives the Power a 2-out base runner.
We've seen some 2-out rallies by teams here at the stadium. Beto hoping that walk isn't costly. A 2-out walk when you're struggling hitting could be a momentum starter if you're the Power right here in the home half of the 5th.
Now it's Will Simon. He'll bat with a 2-out base runner. So he takes a fastball, a little up and away, ball 1. It's a couple pitches now that Beto and Murphy have wanted. They have not gotten the call this inning. Manjurian will keep March close at first. He's getting a pretty aggressive-looking lead. March does run well. 1-0 is a breaking ball in there for strike 1. Beto went with a slide step that time.
Great pitch right there from Beto to get back in to this count.
March has not attempted a stolen base this season, so that fastball is low 2-1.
Yeah, when you're up by 3 runs, your worst enemy, if you're Beto and the Grizzly right now, is giving up walks. That just creates big opportunities for the other team.
Beto comes set once again, looks at the runner, and he slides step. That breaking ball is down and away 3-1. Potential opportunity for Will Simon and the Power. Now ahead 3-1 in the count, with March looming at first after walking with 2 outs.
Beto needs to get in the strike zone here.
The 3-1, that fastball's right down to shoot 3-2. So March will be off on the pitch with 2 outs and the count full. The Power trail 3-0 in the bottom of the 5th inning to the Grizzly. Grizzly able to put 3 runs on the board in a big 4th inning rally. Kind of breaking a bit of a schneid offensively. But out comes set. He deals a 3-2. There goes the runner. The pitch is check swung off the handle, foul to the right side.
That was going to be ball 4, but luckily fouled off.
Yeah, Simon kind of went stumbling out of the right-handed batter's box back towards the Power dugout. Talk about getting handcuffed. So we'll do it again. 7th pitch of the at-bat coming up. 3-2, 2 outs. March over at first and a check on the runner. Not in time. March goes diving back into first. Beto trying to limit the jump that March will be getting. But he goes right back out with an aggressive lead. Here's the 3-2 again. That ball's popped up foul over our heads and out of play.
Great battle at the plate here with 2 outs. Beto unable to get a strike 3 so far in this at-bat. That's what you love to see, Evan. Down 3-0, battling every single pitch. If you're Palm Springs right now with a runner on.
Berdicia on deck represents the tying run. That 3-2 is a little inside, ball 4. Back-to-back walks issued by Wyatt Beto. It puts 2 men aboard with 2 outs. The tying run will come to the plate for the Power in the bottom of the 5th.
I said some momentum could get started for the Power with that 2-out walk.
Yes, you did. Here comes Jared Lemieux out of the dugout.
And the Power still with just 2 hits. But if they're able to get a third, most likely can score a run. And they're right back in this game.
So the Grizzly did have somebody throwing in the bullpen for a moment. It looked like it might have been Braden Bonner. But it looks like Jared Lemieux is going to walk off the mound after a bit of an extended conversation with Beto and the catcher Murphy, and they're going to stick with Beto for the moment.
The tying run now coming to the plate for Palm Springs Power.
Berdicia will dig back in. He's grounded out twice today. That's with 2 outs and 2 men aboard. He takes a fastball and he gets the call 0-1. Berdicia couldn't believe that was called a strike. March over at second, Simon at first after drawing consecutive walks. Here's the 0-1. That's a little up and away, 1-1.
Berdicia has had a couple good at-bats here in this game so far. Looking to pick up an RBI.
It'd be a big one, trying to get the Power on the board as they trail 3-0. Here's the 1-1. That fastball misses low, 2-1. All of a sudden, after sailing along for an inning and 2/3, Wyatt Beto kind of fighting himself, trying to regain his command. Nobody up now for the Grizzly in their bullpen. That fastball is taken for strike 2 on the outer half. Similar spot that we saw strike 1. In both pitches, Berdicia did not like it at the plate.
It's tough to call strikes on those borderline pitches against the opposing catcher.
He'll dig back in, a little closer to the home plate. Tries to go back outside. He bounces the breaking ball, though. Good play by Murphy to keep it around the plate.
If anyone knows the strike zone behind home plate, it's the catchers.
Now with the count full, the runners will be off. March from second, Simon from first. Berdicia represents the tying run. Here's the pitch. The runners go, and it's sprayed foul off the screen. Beto went back to the outside corner. Berdicia kind of lunged over the plate just to get a piece of it.
Another full count for Beto. This is a huge pitch and a huge at-bat.
We'll do it again. 7th pitch of the at-bat coming up. Here's the 3-2. The runners go. Pitch is on the ground to the second baseman, Kogure. He's up with it. Couple of hops, crow hops, over the first for an easy third out. For just a moment, it looked like the Power might have been able to get something going, getting those 2 walks with 2 outs. But they ultimately go down quietly here in the 5th. We're through 5 full innings. It's the Grizzly 3 and the Power nothing when we return. Ladies and gentlemen, we're back and ready for the top of the 6th inning. 6, 7, 8 due up for the Grizzly. Tomokai Shire, Noah Ariola, Waturo, Kumagai, the scheduled hitters. They'll be facing a new pitcher. David Escobar will take over for Tristan Cummings, who went the first 5. He delivers a fastball down and away for ball 1. Shire 0 for 2 so far today. Grounded out to third and flew out to right. Escobar started the game playing left field, now getting the opportunity on the mound. He takes outside 2-0. Escobar looking to preserve what is now a 3-0 deficit for the Power. Looks like he's working exclusively out of the stretch, and he slide steps and delivers a strike.
Yeah, Escobar
2-1
trying to
the
keep
count.
things as simple as possible on the mound, working from the stretch. Less mechanical movements.
Escobar said once again, that ball is hit high in the air to left field. Burl Dixon, the new left fielder, comes running in. He makes the one-handed grab for a quick first out. So Burl Dixon comes off the bench and is the new left fielder as Escobar moves from left field to pitch.
The Power looking to Escobar to eat up a few innings here late in the game.
This is the first time we're going to see Escobar on the mound the entire season. He has not pitched yet. Now it's Ariola who digging for his third at bat. Struck out in the second, singled and scored in the 4th, and he swings and misses at a breaking ball for strike 1. Power playing a straight up infield. The right fielder, Sean Rigsby, playing on the shallow side. Everybody else playing about normal depth. Escobar, there was a breaking ball a little inside. Grizzly offense has recorded 9 hits as we sit with 1 out in the 6th. That breaking ball's outside 2-1. Potentially an opportunity to add a little bit of insurance to their 3-0 lead, facing a guy in Escobar who has not pitched this season. He showed the 2-1, and that's down the way 3-1. Looks kind of like Escobar's getting the ball. He's on the mound out of the stretch, and stepping and throwing. That's kind of what that delivery looks like.
Just playing catch out there.
Here's a 3-1, and that's a little inside ball 4. Escobar missed with a couple close pitches and a 1-out walk for the Grizzly. And that'll bring up the lefty Wataru Kumagai. 2 for 2 today. He's been productive. Also a stolen base to his credit. He'll bat now with a big hole on the right side. The first baseman, Seamus Reese, keeping the runner close. And, of course, the middle infield playing for 2. But now the second baseman, Healy, he's playing a little more towards the pull side. The first pitch is at the knees, strike 1.
Great strike 1 pitch from Escobar. Finding the corner.
Seeing about the same delivery with a man on first as we did with nobody on. And the 0-1 misses outside 1-1. See if Arriola takes off. He has a pretty aggressive lead at first base. Arriola has not attempted a stolen base. But with a guy who's not used to pitching, see how well he tries to control the run game. That ball's hit hard in the right field, down the line, over his Rigsby, and he's going to make the catch a few steps away from the foul line. Nice play in right for the second out. Now with 2 away and a man on first, they'll bring up the 9-man Jackson Murphy. He's also 2 for 2. Big double back in the third and an RBI single in the fourth. Shorter lead this time from Arriola at first, maybe about 3.5 steps off the bag. He does not go. Escobar delivers a strike on the inner half, 0-1. Looks like Jalen March is up and loosening in the power bullpen. Another guy who's more of an outfielder. As that ball is drilled fairly deep to left field. Back goes Dixon. A couple steps from the track, and he's able to make the catch to retire the side. Ball might have gone down just a little bit towards the handle of Murphy. He gave it a ride. That retires the side. No runs, no hits. 1 man left from the walk to Arriola. We're through 5.5 with the Grizzly leading 3-0 over the Power. We're set to go for the bottom of the 6th inning. Seamus Reese, Burl Dixon, Drew Healy, the scheduled hitters. They'll be facing a new pitcher. Jake Hall will take over on the mound for the Grizzly. There was a fastball down and away, ball 1. Reese 0 for 2 with a couple punch-outs. Jake Hall has not pitched in the CWL. He does pitch for his men's league, normally a position player. He exited the lineup after getting the start today. Gets a swing and a miss from Reese, 1-1. Now he's on to potentially record the final 6 outs to preserve the win for Ubaldo Roma, who got the start. Roman Bedo, excellent for the Grizzly on the mound. That pitch is low and away, 2-1. Only allowing 2 hits to this power offense that has really been impressive coming into today. Not the case as of right now as they trail 3-0. Hall working out of the stretch. He kicks and deals, swings over the top of it. Does Reese 2-2 the count?
Yeah, if you're the power, base runners, base runners, base runners. Any way you can get on, down 3 runs.
Hall comes set once again. He kicks and deals a 2-2. Goes with a slow breaking ball in there for a called strike 3. Goodness, that was sharp and crisp looking.
Hall snuck that right in. A great punch-out pitch.
So 1 out here in the 6th. Jake Hall and the Grizzly now just 5 outs away from picking up their 3rd win of the season. Oh, there's a fastball down and away, ball 1. Travius Ford will dig in as a pinch hitter for the Power. So he comes in to replace Burl Dixon. Bit of an interesting sequence of events. Dixon had just entered the game an inning ago in the field. Escobar got the start, then he went in to pitch for an inning. That pitch is way outside, 2-1 the count. Then Dixon came in as a defensive replacement once Escobar moved over to the mound, and now Ford is pinch hitting in this spot in the bottom of the 3rd. It was only a half inning ago that Dixon entered.
Keeping you on your toes, Evan.
Yes, that's one way to put it. That 2-1 is hit foul, just foul down the 3rd base line. It was hit hard. It sounded like Ford broke his bat. Yep. He sure did. Now we start that interesting sequence. Who might have to give up their lumber? You know, it looks like he had a bat in mind. Ford was pointing somewhere in the dugout, and one of his teammates went to deliver his new bat. As he walks back to the right-handed batter's box, he'll dig back in, staring down a 2-2 count with 1 out, nobody on base in the bottom of the 6th inning. His Power trailing the Grizzly 3-0. Here's the 2-2 from Hall. The ball's chopped high, bouncer to the shortstop Frontino. He gets it. Ford runs well. He's going to be safe at first. Excellent hustle. Travius Ford showing off that speed. Only the 3rd hit of the day for the Power, but they get a 1-out base runner.
Yeah, that chopper just bounced too high. And the speed, you had no chance. Infield single. Looking to start a spark for Palm Springs.
And it looked like Frontino did all he could, trying to charge that ball the best he could. He hurried the throw, but Ford beat it with some time to spare.
We'll have another mound visit. See if we make a pitching change.
Well, there's been no signal to the bullpen from Jared Lemieux. We saw this once earlier, going out to the mound to talk to Wyatt Bedo when he got into some trouble. Yep, a pat on the backside. And Lemieux will let Jake Hall get back to work.
There's now some stirring in the Grizzly bullpen.
That was also the 3rd hit of the season for Tavius Ford. He's now 3 for 8. Drew Healy will dig into the left-handed batter's box. Major open stance. And he looks more open than it was when he started the game. And there goes fourth. Pitch taken high in the way. Throw down to second. In time. Strong throw from Jackson Murphy. Looked like it could have been a little bit of a pitch out. And he got forward by plenty.
You needed a perfect throw, and Murphy delivered that perfect throw. Unbelievable.
A little surprising to see Ford taking off on the first pitch with his power trailing 3-0. Grizzly will take it, though. Now there's 2 outs and nobody on base. That's off the end of the bat to the shortstop, Frontino. To his right, he charges, throws on the run in time to retire the side. Ford able to get aboard with that infield single. He was erased on the stolen base attempt on a strong throw from Murphy, and the Power go down in order here in the 6th inning. To the top of the 7th we go. Grizzly on top 3-0. We're back and almost ready for the top of the 7th inning as the Grizzly will take their final sets of at-bats, leading 3-0 over the Power. David Escobar finishing up his warm-up pitches for his 2nd inning of work out of the bullpen. I need to take this opportunity, though, because today's a special day back in the Schmeiser household. My old man, my good pops, Marshall Schmeiser, former first lieutenant in the United States Army, is celebrating his 77th birthday. Served in Vietnam from 1967 to 69 as a forward observer, made over 25 combat jumps out of his military choppers into the jungles of Vietnam. Also awarded a Bronze Star for saving his unit. Several years growing up, I'd hear my dad sing all sorts of Airborne Ranger songs about him getting ready to jump out of the choppers.
What was your dad's name, Evan?
Marshall Schmeiser.
Marshall, thank you for serving for our country. Really appreciate that. Thank you for your service.
Best man I've ever known as Escobar delivers a fastball in the dirt 1-0.
And I hope you enjoy your birthday today.
Oh, he sure did. He and my mom spent a long weekend in Rehoboth Beach, Delaware. More of a prime vacation spot in that part of the country. 1-0 from Escobar is on the outside corner, 1-1 to Rio Kogure.
While we're on that topic, if you're listening and you're a veteran, thank you so much for your service.
Yes, it's everything.
Thank you.
Here's the 1-1 from Escobar, way outside, 2-1.
We don't get a chance to say it enough. With Veterans Day and
Absolutely.
all these holidays throughout the year, we really need to thank them every single day.
Yeah, my dad could tell all sorts of tremendous stories about his time. I almost went to the United States Naval Academy with a lot of my dad's influence. Ultimately, that did not end up
Navy
happening.
and Army, those are some rivalry schools right there.
Interesting enough, my dad had his choice. He would have picked the Navy for me over any other armed forces branch. Here's the 3-1 pitch from Escobar. And that fastball's at the knees, 3-2. To Kogure leading off this top of the 7th inning. Kogure, Frontino, Manjurian, the scheduled hitters for the Grizzly, as they lead 3-0 over the Power. 3-2 pitch from Escobar, way outside, ball 4. Leadoff base runner for the Grizzly. That brings up Sam Frontino. So we'll take a moment and dig into the right-handed batter's box. Grizzly looking for a little bit of insurance as the Power will set up to turn 2. Really big, aggressive lead from Kogure. He does not go. The pitch is taken low and in the dirt. Pretty good opportunity for Kogre to take off, especially with more of a position player on the mound than Escobar, probably not used to stepping off and checking on the runners. Try and get a man in scoring position for the Grizzly. Slide step. That ball's off the end of the bat, but that's going to fall into left center field for a base hit. Kogre takes a big turn. Now he's going to head to third as the ball goes right by Jalen March. He's around third, headed for home. There's not going to be a throw to the plate. Rio Kogre comes all the way around to first to score on a softly hit base hit from Frontino that just skipped right on past Jalen March. And with that, the Grizzly pick up a very helpful insurance run as they now lead 4-0. And now it'll be Will Manjurian. We'll dig in with a man on second base and nobody out. Dig into the left-hand batter's box. First pitch is smoked deep down the right field line and foul towards the batting cages.
The Grizzly now have their 10th hit of the game. So they lead 4-0 here in the last inning in the 7th.
See what Escobar throws to Manjurian this time. Ball caught a lot of the plate, and he put a pretty good swing on it. Here's the 0-1. That's Nadur. He gets away for a moment from Pagalides. No chance to try to advance. Frontino over at second base after advancing on the error in the outfield. Only the first error of the game from either team. We talked about the top of the broadcast, how good both teams have been defensively. A rare miscue that we just saw, actually from Burl Dixon in center field. So a 1-1 count to Manjurian. Escobar will deal that down and away 2-1. Manjurian likely looking to drive something. They're getting a good swing on the first pitch of the at-bat, driving it foul to right. Looking to bring home a 5th run for the Grizzly, trying to put this one away as they lead 4-0 in the top of the 7th. That 2-1 is chopped foul past the first base coach's box. Decent idea for Manjurian. Trying to pull a ball on the ground to the right side, advance Frontino to third. Rio Kogre walked to start the inning for the Grizzly. Then Frontino singled into center field. The ball trickled right past the glove of Burl Dixon, allowing Kogre to score all the way from first. That ball's through the hole on the right side for a base hit past the diving Healy. Rounding third is Frontino. He's going to score. The throw is cut off by Reese at first. RBI single Will Manjurian. He's given the Grizzly a 5-0 lead.
Yeah, it's been all Grizzly here in this game. Excellent pitching, excellent fielding, and excellent hitting. Just all the way around, a great game for Alberta.
Couldn't agree more, Joey. A complete team effort. Hitting 185 coming into today. Any doubts about the offense? No one's going to talk about that anymore. 11 hits today. They've smacked the ball all over the yard. Now it's Ethan Baker who stares down a 1-0 count. Manjurian over at first with nobody out. First 3 men of the inning for the Grizzly have reached in the 7th. 1 run already across the plate. That fastball is way upstairs 2-0. Baker entered the game for Jake Hall in the 4th. He struck out his only at bat. Now a 2-0 count. He foul tips it at the plate off the glove of Pagalides. Jalen March up and throwing in the power bullpen once again. We saw him playing a little bit of catch earlier. It's a 2-1 from Escobar. That's off the hands, but hit pretty well out to left field. And the catch is recorded, 1 out here in the 7th. An elusive first out. That brings up Andre White. He also came into the game in the 4th inning, part of that hockey line set of changes we saw from Jared Lemieux's Grizzly.
That's right.
2 days in a row we've gotten the kind of hockey-like near-complete platoon swap. He swings the first pitch off the end of the bat. That's going to be in there for a base hit in the left field. Stopping at second is Manjurian. It puts men on first and second with 1 out. 3rd hit of the inning, 12th hit of the game for the Grizzly.
Yeah, the hits just keep coming for the Grizzly.
Now it's Shire. He'll bat for himself, 0 for 3 today. Takes a breaking ball low, 1-0. Can't tell you enough how impressive this outing has been all the way around from the Grizzly. Starting with Romo on the mound, Beto impressive out of the bullpen. Even Jake Hall, the prowess as a men's league pitcher, able to deliver a scoreless inning out of the pen as that fastball's on the outside corner, 1-1.
Barring a crazy comeback from the power, the Grizzly are going to move to over 500 early on in this season, 3-2 if they win this game.
Possible for a big momentum shift. So that breaking ball's down and in 2-1.
We have no undefeated teams left in the CWL, so it's wide open still. But everyone makes the playoffs.
Anything to get the guys more at bats.
That's right. The playoffs will start on February 16th.
That's on the ground to the shortstop, Simon. He flips the second for 1. Over the first, in time for a double play. 6-4-3 for the Power. That finally retires the side. But not before the Grizzly. Able to put 2 more big insurance runs on the board. Aided by the big RBI single from Will Manjurian and the error in the outfield from the Power. We go to the bottom of the 7th. Power, one more opportunity to do something about this 5-0 deficit. Well, here we are, bottom of the 7th inning. Last chance for the Power to get on the board, if not, try and make this a ball game again. They trail 5-0 to the Grizzly. Power came into this game looking like one of the top dogs, showing signs of absolute dominance both from a pitching staff and an offense. They got to a 2-1 start. Now it looks like they're going to fall to 2-2, barring something dramatic, as Sean Rigsby takes a fastball for strike one. Braden Bonner comes out of the bullpen for the Grizzly, looking to finish things off. Move the Grizzly to 3-2 on the season. Obviously not a safe situation, being a 5-run deficit. That breaking ball is taking a little high, 1-1. Rigsby 0 for 2 today with a couple ground outs. Power, only 3 hits today. It's been a pretty clean game from both sides. Only the one big error from Burl Dixon in the Power outfield. That ball's fouled straight back off the hands, 1-2. This will be the 4th game that Bonner's pitched in. He's gone 4 innings overall, allowing 4 hits scattered in there. No runs to his credit. No walks either. And he has picked up a save on the young season. And he deals exclusively out of the stretch. He's over the 1-2. That ball's chopped foul up the first base line. Bonner is the 4th pitcher out of the bullpen today for the Grizzly. Romo started it. He went the first 3. Beto went the next 2. And Hall, you got to see Jake Hall deliver a scoreless inning. That ball's off the handle, this time up the third baseline foul over towards the camera well. Stick around after this one, ladies and gentlemen. About 30 minutes after the conclusion of this game, we'll have the Bombers taking on the A's right here at the California Winter League YouTube channels. That breaking ball is low, 2-2. Joey mentioned this just an earlier ago about the parity we've seen across the league. No teams remain undefeated. A couple of weeks could make for a very entertaining postseason.
We have a busy day today in the CWL. 4 games going on.
That ball's on the outside corner for a called strike 3. Bonner comes out of the bullpen, faces one batter, and retires Rigsby on strikes.
2 games on the field. The next game in our doubleheader is going to be the Bombers against the A's. And the 2 games on the turf were the Rush and the North Stars at 9, and then 11:30 is the Blue Sox and the Lumberjacks.
That brings up Aaron Harless, 0 for 2 today. Struck out his last at-bat in the 5th. Bonner and the Grizzly just 2 outs away from moving to 3-2. He delivers a fastball on the outside corner, strike 1. 5 runs, 12 hits for the Grizzly. Excellent bounce-back offensive performance. Frankly, they did have a chance to put a few more runs on the board. They'll take the 5 runs. That ball's off the end of the bat. One hop to the first baseman. Will Manjurian takes it to the bag himself. 2 up, 2 down in the last of the 7th. Power down to their final out. It'll be the 9-man Christian Pagalitis. Singled back in the first, popped up to first in the 5th. He's 1 for 2. One of only 3 hits for the Palm Springs Power as they trail 5-0 to the Grizzly. Burl Dixon waits on deck in the first pitch. Swing at the first pitch, and that's lined out of play foul to the right side. I assume the Bombers and A's will probably start a little closer to 12:45. Give our ops guys enough time to manicure the field and give both teams a chance to warm up. Here's the 0-1 from Bonner. That's a little high, 1-1. Good 2-seam fastball running back into the righty. If the Grizzly are able to sustain offense even close to what we saw today and hit with runners in scoring position with this pitching staff, and it runs 5, 6, 7 men deep. They're going to be tough. That ball sprayed foul down the right field line. They'll slice out of play. Ooh, hit off a player down there warming up. He seems just fine. It kind of hit off his arm.
A great defensive game today also for the Grizzly.
Yeah, only 8 errors combined between both teams, and they've lived up to that, playing a pretty clean ball game. Also impressive play from the catchers. Not a whole lot of balls get away from them. Power down to their final strike. Here's the 1-2 from Bonner, and that's hit foul again to the right side out of play onto the opposite field to the right side. Grizzly looking to move to 3-2. Power looks likely they'll fall to 2-2 this season. Bonner said once again, here's the 1-2. Fastball on the outside corner, a called strike 3. That retires the side in order. The Grizzly pick up an impressive bounce-back win as they take down the Power 5-0 in Game 1 of our doubleheader here at Palm Springs Stadium. Absolutely impressive all the way around from the Grizzly. Dominant from the 4th inning on, 12 hits overall. Romo secures the win on the mound. Bedell came out of the bullpen. He was impressive through 2. Jake Hall, the men's league pitching star, gave a good inning. Bonner comes in and shuts the door. 1, 2, 3, go the Power. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I'm Evan Schmeiser, joined by Joey Senna. We'll be back in just about 30 minutes as the Bombers will take on the Canada A's. Thank you very much for joining us right here on the California Winter League YouTube channel.